Welcome to the Wally Show Precast, all the stuff that we did not get to during the course of the show and some extra stuff. We are Facebook Living this as well. And wow, I'm glad we're doing that today because I have a new jacket on that I got at the 50% off at
I was going to talk
Old
to you
Navy.
about
Were
that.
you? Really? Okay, what were you going to say? Before you say that, just, I wish we had a mirror in here because you're wearing a Bass Pro Shops trucker hat
Yes,
for the record.
I am.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it looked very becoming.
Oh, that you were so sweet because and when you walked,
Wow, but you were judgmental.
I was defensive.
Yes, you were.
I was defensive.
I hadn't even said anything.
I know because it's been.
Someone's been hurt.
I have been hurt lately. You and Becca have been on a tear on me with my beard.
Me?
When you walked,
Becca
more so.
Becca.
When you walked in today, what did I say to you?
I don't remember.
Of course not. Oh, you look cute today. I like the Bass Pro Shop hat.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this.
Weird story about my
Yes.
Bass Pro Shop hat. So I went to Kroger on Saturday to get some guacamole for a little get together that I was going to.
Oh, was it a Super Bowl get together?
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so I'm in the Mexican aisle because I don't like guacamole. So I'm just going in and, trying to find it. I go in the Mexican aisle where they have like the little salsa and the little.
I didn't know they had an actual Mexican aisle.
Yes, it says it on the little labels up at the top. It says Mexican.
Is there a wall?
Anyways, as I was so rudely interrupted, this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Bass Pro Shop hat, do you fish?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Are you any good at it?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, well, you're cute."
Oh,
And then just walked off.
was he an old guy?
Well, I would guess like maybe late 30s, but it was odd and weird to phrase it that way and then to just walk off. And I was
That is weird.
He's like, you're
Okay.
exactly the type of girl I'm looking for, but you're not a good fisher, so
Yeah, I'm
see ya."
out. Did you
Oh.
look at his hand to see if he had a ring?
"Oh, I didn't."
Yeah, you got to do
I
that.
should have done that.
Yeah, because then you could have followed him back to the produce aisle. I'm also a good
No.
cook.
No, I left. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
did?
creepy.
Yeah, that is the weird thing for guys. Like, if you want to tell a woman that they look nice, it's really hard to do that without it being taken wrong.
Here's what I think we've talked about this before.
Right.
When it's something like you have a relationship already,
Right.
then it's not so creepy. Now, when
Right.
you follow it with a wink like you do,
Right.
still creepy and gross. But when you're a stranger and you say that, it's like, I've watched a lot of Forensic Files, and that's how they end up on there.
I was in the shoe department one time
Oh,
at
gosh.
TJ Maxx with my wife. She was looking for shoes, and there was this lady next to her that had her friends with her, and she was trying on shoes and trying to get their opinions, and she couldn't make up her mind. She's like, "Oh, do they work? Do they not work? I don't know. Are they me?" Lifting the one leg up so you can see it and stuff. And she's going back and forth, and she couldn't decide. And I just looked at her. I go, "I got to tell you, you are rocking those shoes fierce." And then I just walked off.
Did you say it with a little bit of attitude?
I
like
did.
Okay, then it's funny.
Because
it's not a big deal.
yeah, and for some reason, if you come off a little bit flamboyant, if you get where I'm saying, women will take that as non-threatening.
Right,
So I do
for
that a
sure.
lot. "Oh, that hat is fabulous, girlfriend. I wish I had 10 of them." And then that way you're not
They'd
scary.
ask for you to be their best friend.
Yes, exactly. All right, so here's some stuff that we didn't get to. Here is our first. Yes, what?
First of all, some people are asking where Becca is.
Oh, Becca is sick today.
Becca is sick today, so
She could not have picked a worse day to be sick. Her job is to do news, and when we get in the morning, we're prepping the show, and so when she's gone, I have to do news. And today was horrible. Like, you got the Super Bowl, which is just a ton of stuff. We had Super Bowl things planned today. Plus, we had 3 other bits planned today that we needed all of us. And then you've got news and Super Bowl stuff. Plus, all of our hard drives are crashing right and left. We can't.
they've only been
nothing's
having a
normal.
problem for like 2 weeks. We can't expect it to be fixed quicker than 2
Right.
weeks.
In the defense of our media company, not being able to play clips of audio is totally
Kind of
normal.
a big deal, but we can take a month.
So, like, today was just a horrible day. So hopefully she feels better and we'll be back
I'm
tomorrow.
sure she's listening right now and she's thinking, "Oh, let everyone down. I'm coming in."
Well, here's
she has this odd thing where she doesn't want to disappoint you at all,
I know.
which is sweet.
It's not an odd thing. It's the right
it's an
thing.
odd thing. It's an
I
odd
bet he got
thing.
over that about
Yeah.
9
like-
years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I remember when you used to want to impress me. I miss those
then
days.
I I figured out I could never impress you.
I
So
I tried to make her feel better. I texted her. I said, I'd made a joke on the air about she's faking, and she was listening. She said, I'm not faking. I said, yeah, good news is it's been a rough day, so that should make you feel better because you were missed. You know, she brings a lot to the show. And she wrote, ha, because I should have been there. And then she wrote, also, and now you hate me. But I never responded to that one. I just left that one hanging.
that's the meanest thing to
I
do.
know, and that was about 40 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. Well, good
Yeah.
to know she actually is watching the stream live right
Oh,
now.
good.
So if you would
Hey,
like
Burger.
to send a message to
The
Becca.
show has been so easy. Wally even said, "What does she do around here
Yes.
anyway?"
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying when I was screaming this morning. So, Becca, hope you feel better. Hope you'll be back in tomorrow. Hey, Wally and crew, my name is Jacob. I'm a 13-year-old potty. My sister Olivia's birthday, it was yesterday. Could you give her a birthday shout out? It would make her day. Well, happy birthday, Olivia. My question for you guys is if there was a zombie apocalypse, where would you go? I think zombies are ridiculous, and that whole craze of zombie movies and zombie this, and that somewhere in the government there was something leaked about a zombie apocalypse plan. Like seriously, people? But it's a good question. Where would you go?
I would go where there aren't many people,
Yes,
right?
where
Out
there
to the
aren't
country,
zombies is
where
where
I
I would
can
go.
grow some food and not be surrounded by people living
Then
or
you'd
alive.
go crazy.
No,
You
Zach.
would
better
need
crazy
that
than dead.
companionship.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You're
Better
so
crazy
cute.
than dead.
Zach, you really need companionship. How long have you worked with him?
I'm just saying, I don't know. I've actually thought about this because I know it sounds weird. I passed this place on my way to my best friend's house that's like a power plant kind of thing. And they have a fence that's like up and it's got these, it goes in like a jail cell.
Yeah.
And barbed wire and stuff. And I was like, that'd be perfect because no zombie could get in. But I think it's a power plant, but there's nothing you can get at a power plant. And it's covered with gravel, so you can't grow anything.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's
So you're not near a grocery store.
There are times that I fantasize or dream about like a post-apocalyptic world, like the Mad Max world and kind of things like that. And I wonder how long I could survive. Like, would I go first?
Oh, yeah.
Or, I don't
'Cause they're-
know.
like the sugar stuff is going to get eaten first,
Right.
and then it's just going to be stuff you can grow, which vegetables.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll just starve.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
I watched this
Experience
show called Alone, and it's where they are truly alone. There's like 10 people, and they have to see how long they can last.
Except a camera guy.
No, there's no camera guy. They shoot it themselves. And so they have to set their cameras up and stuff. And so they do this right now. I'm towards the end. They're on 72 days by themselves, and they're giving like nothing. They have to get their own food and everything. And it's pretty interesting. The companionship thing, I would go crazy because I need people around me. Like I like that, but I would love to try to survive and see if I could truly live off the land. And some of the things that I have in my head, like, oh, I could build this trap and do this, and just give it a shot. Like I would like to do that.
I think you could do all right. I think I would have a hard time knowing what you can eat and can't eat.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I feel like if it's green, you should be able to eat it, but that's
Yeah.
probably not the case.
Not the case. There's one guy on this other show. I watched too many shows. That tried that. He just like, I gotta eat. He ate something that made him so sick and pulled him from the
That's
game.
how that guy, the teenager guy that he left right out of high school, went straight to Alaska, and he would like shoot rabbits and deer, and he could eat it. But then he had like a book of plants that you could eat, but he got them mixed up with a certain berry, ate it, and it slowly starved him to death. And
What?
they found him later, and he was dead.
I don't even. Wow, happy story.
Yay for positivity.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, there's your
I
one
forget his
happy
name,
thing.
but
I
it
don't
was
know.
it was a real story. He like found this abandoned bus in the middle of Alaska.
I know that story.
Yeah,
Yes.
I forget what it's
All you had to say
called.
was Alaska. and
No,
he's
I
like,
know
yes,
that because he lived in that bus.
Right.
Yes,
And he was like 20 something, real young.
I know. I've seen that story,
and he
but
wrote a note on the door, like, if
Uh-huh.
you find me, I belong here.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, I don't remember the specifics
And
of
they
that.
said he was down to like 80 something pounds, and he was
Ooh.
like really tall, and that's not right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Hey, this
Back
is
to
from
the
Ethan.
positivity.
Dear Wally and crew, I listen to podcasts. I don't really have a birthday, but I stubbed my toe on a metal bed frame, and that inspired me to send you this email. What is the worst pain you've ever had? and you got to take childbirth off the list.
I know what yours is, Wally, because
what-
I was there to experience
what is
it.
it?
When you bit the inside of your mouth that one time and you cried like a baby and actually fell on the floor. I'm not making this up. Fell on the floor and you were crying and you put a little napkin in your mouth. There was blood on it. And you're like, I'm dying.
I have never bitten my cheek that bad in my life. I was like a zombie apocalypse from the inside out.
Yeah, you won't make it.
Yeah, like I have bitten my cheek before, but there was something about that one. It was a chunk. I'm trying to think. Betty Rock, what like have you ever hurt yourself really badly?
Yes, it was when I think it was on this desk actually. Where I sit in the middle, there's a pole here, and I knocked my kneecap right up against it one day, and that hurt so bad. It feels like it dislocates, and
I
just
hate to see
hurts.
girls get legitimately hurt, like where it like.
Really?
Yes, I
'Cause
do.
my
Why do you say
life,
legitimately hurt?
My history would say otherwise.
Well,
with you.
yes. Well, like bumping your knee is a quick thing that you get over, but like when a girl gets like hurt, like and they cry and they can't process the pain that they're going through. Like I hate to see that. It breaks my heart.
Do you like to see girls get illegitimately hurt?
Yeah,
That's what
no,
that sounds like.
No, but like I'm saying, just the serious ones. Like I hate
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm a big fan of anyone walking into a door or something like that. That's what America's Funniest Home Videos is built on. I find that
You're a fan of
hysterical.
slapstick.
Oh, 100%. That's why I watch that show Ridiculousness, because I love people getting hit in the face with things. What about you, Zach?
If we're talking physical pain, I think I would have to go with
The time you broke your arm on your own.
no. All 4 times I've broken arms.
Yeah, he's like that. He's like that breakable guy, Unbreakable, the
They're
glass man.
coming out with a sequel of that.
Are
by the way.
they?
Yeah, M Night.
The first one was bad. Just
Right.
stop.
So you'll only get better if you keep trying.
Yes.
I think actually some headaches I had, like
Really?
playing football.
Those are called
I would
concussions.
get dehydrated, and like the next morning or at night, like the doctor said your brain actually like without water starts shrinking, and that causes pain, and it
Really?
just like the pulsing. It felt like there were 2 fangs digging into
Oh
the back of
my
my head.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
I think mine was when I had I was playing soccer in high school, and I've always been small, and I like tried to slide tackle the ball away from the goalie, and the goalie was jumping up. I forget what happened, like how I ended up down on the ground, but his foot came horizontally on my chest, right down the middle of my sternum. He cracked my sternum, and unbelievable. It's like his foot went all the way to my spine.
Wow.
It hurt so bad. And like for years, it was probably 6 years after that I was still feeling the repercussions of it and the effects of it. Like I couldn't breathe. If I was surfing or anything that was using my chest, it just hurt like for a long time.
I'll tell my favorite moment when Wally got hurt was when
That's not the idea of this, Rock, but
we
okay.
were running late on a
Oh,
on a
on the
segment of the
break.
show.
I remember that.
And there was a couch out here, and we're like, Wally, 30 seconds. And you come running, you can hear your necklace.
I tried to
jingle, and
hurdle
you're
the
like this,
couch.
and you jump over the couch, and you face plant on the floor. It was awesome.
Yeah, my foot got stuck in the couch as I tried to jump over it, and I fell and I landed on my knee, like your knee pain, and just my knee. I couldn't even get up. I couldn't even get up. I
All you
remember-
could get out was somebody hit the button.
hit the button, hit the button, because we have a red button that will at least start the next thing. Hit the button. I couldn't move. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I'm so glad that little walk down memory lane has brought so much joy to your eyes.
It does. I wish I
Yeah.
had it on video.
I know, I do
watch it
regret
all
that.
the time.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl. We didn't get to dig in totally to this, and some of the commercials. We kind of hit some of those. But the thing that struck me about the Super Bowl was almost like like a deeper kind of faith type thing. I was thinking about at church that earlier that day, and we went to a different church that I hadn't gone to before, and it was more. It wasn't charismatic by any stretch of the imagination, but more than what I usually go to. So people with their arms in the air and raised in the air and different versions of swaying and different arm heights and stuff. So, which is probably normal for a lot of people, but I grew up Baptist, so it's not the norm. But it dawned on me too that like, okay, so here's all these people worshiping in this moment, the morning before the Super Bowl, and how a lot of people look at that and they go, oh my gosh, that's so scary. It's like a cult. It's so weird. These people worshiping God. Yet then 6 hours later, you've got 80 some odd thousand or whatever the number is, people packed into this stadium doing the exact same thing, worshiping a game and people, throwing this ball around, and even to a bigger degree, a worse degree. Like if you saw someone paint their chest and run through your church, you'd be like, this is the craziest place. I'm never going back here. But for some reason, it's okay at a sporting event. It makes perfect sense. Oh, it's just football. Just football we're excited about. But for some reason, when you're excited about your faith, you're a fanatic, and it's seen as a negative versus being a fan or a fanatic for a sport. It's like, oh, well, that's normal. And I'm really curious why that is. Like, what is it that makes fanaticism for what you believe in that has so much bigger ramifications than a sporting event so wrong in so many people's minds, or so off-putting to so many people?
I think I can get a lot more excited and vocal about something that doesn't actually matter. Because it's a trivial thing, it's easy for me to be expressive and like over the top excited about something because I know it's really just an escape and it doesn't matter. But I don't get that way about things that truly matter to me. But it doesn't mean that I don't. It's not a deeper connection to my faith or I don't stand up and cheer about my family or like things like anything that's more important to me than football. But I don't think that's a fair equation to make.
Like I've never high-fived anyone at church, but at a football party for sure. Like, oh, this is great. But I'm even myself. Like I know myself. Like I am on the down low when it comes to how excited I get about like my expressions of my faith. Like I get freaked out when people get really animated about it and stuff too. And so if I do, then I know from the outside, people looking in, that maybe aren't believers would definitely be wigged out by it.
It's funny because that morning, both John Acuff, comedian John Christ, a couple others had tweeted things like John Christ wrote, "Time for the worship leaders annual. I wish you guys would get as excited about worship as you do football lecture."
That's funny.
Because it does happen like every year.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
There's something about the vulnerability of it all. Like with religion, it's more being vulnerable. Whereas with sports, you're just being unique. You're being you.
See, I wish for me it was reverence. Like I wish I could say that, oh, okay, I don't get crazy like this, like I do at a football party or when I get a strike in bowling, because that happened the other night. Doesn't happen often. I was like, jumping around. Like I wish I could say it was because I'm so reverent about being in church and that's why I don't do that. But that's not the case for me. It's for some reason for me, it feels weird hooting and hollering about my faith than it does about bowling or football or something like that. I wish it wasn't that way, but it does. So, all right then.
I go back to it makes me feel trivial if I do that stuff about my faith because it's more important to me than football.
Betty Rock. We have a little bit of least of these we didn't get to today.
I do. This one is about Beyonce. You thought it was all over with. She gave her expecting twins announcement, but that's not the case. People are still reacting from all the news. And one unlikely source had an odd reaction to all of it, and that was the Atlanta Police Department, who tweeted out, Beyonce may have everyone wanting to celebrate her pregnancy, but remember, no celebrity gunfire.
Really?
Right. And of course, this tweet was not well received. And later on, they made an apology, and it just said, we wanted to somehow add comedic relief to the things going on around the world, and we missed the mark. So definitely missed the mark there.
Although, again, like you'll hear later on, I read an email from somebody that it seems crazy, but it's the same type of thing with this, where you go, oh, it missed the mark, we were trying to be funny or whatever. But the reality is, like, a sports team wins and people go out inside and pop guns off in the air. Like, really? Why do we do that? Once again, very excited about that. Haven't shot up the church yet, but for some reason, I don't know, people do that and get excited about that. So I didn't think that was a bad tweet, but I guess people got upset about it.
Didn't they have some really bad news issues? Like, I mean,
in Atlanta? I don't know.
I can't keep all those places together, but I don't know.
And finally, there was something on SNL the other night that it was in their weekend update, and they were talking about how many executive orders Donald Trump has signed, President Trump, and how many executive orders that former President Barack Obama had signed. and they're drawing the correlation that actually they were very similar in the amount. I think it was 18 in 12 days for Trump and 19 in 12 days for President Obama. So they're both in that same wheelhouse. But this is kind of the unexpected. There's some truth in it.
Even then, Donald Trump actually criticized Obama for signing so many executive orders. But that's only because Donald Trump doesn't like Obama. And when you really don't like somebody, you don't want to see them make any decisions, even if it's in your favor. Trump could sign an order for free pizza, and protesters will be outside the White House tomorrow demanding tacos.
I do feel that that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, there's a no-win because he's drawn the line in the sand on a few different things. And no matter if he did something good for somebody, it's not going to be received well until things calm down. When they calm down, who knows? But I heard people talking about, man, if you're on social media, I just can't be on. I can't be on it. I've been immune to that because
You're not on social media.
right. Because the only social media I have is the Wally Show account, and I only look at what we post. I don't
Right.
even look at what anybody else. If someone's commenting on what we post, I'll look at that. But I don't look at feeds of anything else, and that's why I feel very insulated. And I'm like, oh, is there a problem?
Yeah, I don't go on Facebook hardly at all anymore because there's so many people so angry about things, and they're angry about things that were the case 5 months ago, but they weren't educated about it.
Right.
But now that there's a person they dislike behind things, they just are getting riled up about a lot of things, and there are a lot more serious issues than some of the issues they're getting riled up about.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see again how this next little bit shakes out. I'd love to see us get some sort of civility and a little bit of calmness so that we could maybe even move forward and at least have a discussion. If you don't like something, I get it, but like affect change in a positive way. Like for me, coming to Christian radio, I tried to blow it up to make change, and I realized years later that wasn't the way to do it. I had to affect it from the inside. I had to get in to then have a place at the table to try to speak into it. And so I think that's kind of where we need to be. The shouting and the riots and the pickets and stuff like that. No one's listening to that. That shuts people off instantly.
Yeah, and whenever he protests, ramped up to an 11, anything he does, the protest goes up to 11. And so what happens when something even more serious happens or more
that warrants it?
Right. You're kind of spending all your chips now to the point like it'll become just background noise that people aren't listening to eventually.
Yeah.
And there might be a better use for that down the road.
Yeah. I think really for me the takeaway is I want tacos. Like now I want Chewy's and that delicious sauce that they have.
Chewy, yeah, jalapeno dip.
I wish they were a sponsor so that we could have free Chewy's every day, because that would be delightful. All right, you know what? That's going to have to do it for the precast here. So on with the podcast. There you go. That's going to do it for your podcast today. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Yeah.
Can I do one more thing real quick?
Yeah.
In the news, you played a drop of a commercial from the Super Bowl, and I couldn't figure out whose voice it was, and it killed me.
Oh.
And I'm curious if you guys have any guesses who it is, because it took me about half an hour, and I finally chased down who it was.
Okay, here. This was the clip.
What do I tell my daughter? Do I tell her that her grandpa's worth more than her grandma? That her dad is worth more than her mom? Do I tell her that despite her education, her drive,
All
her
right,
skills...
any guesses?
Okay.
I've got two.
Okay, at first I thought it might be Dennis Leary, but doing a different voice. I thought it was Dennis Leary trying to be Morgan Freeman, but I'm assuming that's wrong.
No.
Mel Gibson
No.
Nope.
or the Breaking Bad guy.
Bryan Cranston.
No.
Oh.
Listen to it again. What if I tell you it's George Clooney?
No.
What do I tell my daughter? Do I tell her that her grandpa's worth more than
Can
her
you hear
grandma?
that?
That her dad is worth more than her mom?
I think
Do
so,
tell her
yeah.
that despite
It's actually
her
not George
education-
Clooney.
Okay, but
Oh, 'cause
yeah.
I
But
was about to
it's-
say, it sounds a lot hotter now.
I don't care if I'm making less money, like the commercial says. It kind of sounds like in parts, but not in...
It's some guy you wouldn't know that does a lot of voiceover work, but even
No.
on his,
Oh,
on his
Mike
Wikipedia
Rowe.
page, it says he's often confused with George
Oh,
Clooney.
how funny.
And I think that's who I thought it was.
Who is
But
Ah.
it's Peter Jessup.
Oh,
he
it's not anybody.
No, no.
Oh,
But
not
after
hot.
hearing, I'm like, oh, they're trying to make it sound like
Well, there's
George Clooney.
There's the guy in England who imitates Morgan Freeman, and they pay Morgan Freeman to let this guy imitate him. So Morgan Freeman doesn't even do the voice work because they could never afford him. So they've come up with a secondary deal that allows this guy to do it in Morgan Freeman impersonation, and they pay
Whoa.
Morgan Freeman to not speak. Like that's
awesome.
Yeah, that's how you know you got
Good
something.
gig if you can get it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I
think
could,
there
I
are.
could do a Morgan Freeman
I
impersonation.
would love to hear that.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
That is right up there with
know.
your
Wow.
I'm Sean Connery.
Maybe they'll pay you. You know what? I'll pay you to do neither.
Hey.